Good morning or good afternoon whenever you're watching this webinar, and welcome. My name is Blake Burkett, Account Executive here at CT Solutions. I've got Andrew Love with me here as well. Been at CT Solutions now for over 15 years, going on 18 years. A lot of experience in this room, but this is part one of three for our ShoreTel series. Part one, we'll be reviewing timing with you guys today and how that relates to your timeline with your voice platform. Welcome on today, Andrew.
Hey, how's it going, Blake?
Going good, man. Going good. So yeah, let's just dive right into it. So tell us a little bit about where we take us through, like where we start with our clients and prospects regarding timing when it comes to their ShoreTel, MyTel, or just their phone system in general.
Absolutely. We've got several key factors that we take in consideration when migrating any customer off of a platform to a new solution, right? So we want to look at their current infrastructure. What do they have in place today as far as internet connectivity? What do they have in place of dial tone, contract statuses? Are they month to month? Do they have another year or two left on their contracts that we need to evaluate? Do we need to look at maybe pulling together some other options for pricing for those replacements of those solutions? We also want to take a look at what the budget process is for the end user. Maybe this is something that has to be planned out 6 months to a year in advance. We'll see where we are in the budget cycle, and do they have a budget for this kind of a project? Then we also want to take a look at what the business needs are, right? Maybe the needs of the organization wasn't and has changed from what it was before, right? Maybe we need to look at more of a soft phone solution for most end users versus having a physical desk phone, right? We've seen lots of customers make the change to the cloud and to other private cloud solutions and eliminate the phones altogether, right? Eliminate the hardware on the desk, and they want to have just a soft phone on their computer. Maybe they want to use a mobile app, right? So we want to assess those needs and make sure that we've got a solution in place and design that's going to fit budget, fit the timeline for their scope. Maybe there's some integrations to some applications they have, their CRM in-house. Maybe it's an EMR system. Maybe we're looking at an automotive dealership, and we're looking at integration that ties in with their CRMs that they use. They're specific to their industry. So there's a wide variety of things that we want to look at and assess to make sure that we've got a good game plan moving forward, and we're putting our best foot forward with a solution that's going to grow with the organization years to come.
Right. So it seems like there's obviously a lot of things that tie in terms of, when moving forward with our prospects and clients about, evaluating phone systems, what's next, things like that. Obviously contracts come into that, like you mentioned, looking at their overall current environment. How can we improve it? What can we integrate with? A lot of integrations are, key nowadays for companies. So, a lot of people that have that old ShoreTel system, there's a lot out there that have changed since they bought that system. One major difference between a ShoreTel versus, the options today is the OpEx versus CapEx model. Would you mind taking us through that briefly, what that looks like for clients and how they can, go through that with their C-suite or their people that they work with in terms of buying options, right? So.
Absolutely. So your typical ShoreTel deployment was a capital expenditure, purchase, right? You bought the hardware, licensing, devices, and any other server equipment that you needed up front. You have a monthly service fee for your dial tone trunking, and then any kind of a maintenance plan that you have with your provider that installed the solution. And that's really it, right? Moving forward, most of your solutions nowadays, which a lot of the providers have migrated this way. Cisco, for one, has migrated to a as a service solution. So even if you have a premise-based system today, they're pushing it toward the as a service platform, meaning that there's a license fee per user extension on the system. The phones are typically rolled out as a rental versus a purchase, but you can purchase them if you'd like. It does kind of limit the warranty status of those phones, but we can kind of talk further into that at a later date. But it's a totally different animal today from what it was even 4 or 5 years ago, right? Technology's changed quite a bit due to COVID. There's been a lot of advancements with AI and other solutions out there and integrations. We basically can provide a CapEx model if depending on what platform we're looking at moving forward. So if the organization's history is always a purchase model, and that's really what they're looking at as the 10-year goal versus maybe a 3-year vision, then we can easily find a platform that would fit those needs. If as a service solution fits their budget, that way they know what their cost is going to be per month, and that's something they understand that they're going to always continue to have that monthly service fee for the life of the product that they have it for. Then obviously we can go down that path as well. So there's no necessarily one size fits all. It's all based upon what the needs are of the organization.
Right. So you can still transition to a monthly expense while still, buying a capital product, right? So with Mitel, where you're still paying that off monthly instead of paying, that big expense up front. Or if you'd like that big expense up front, obviously you can still do so with owning the equipment. When it comes to public cloud, more of a monthly expense, continuously paying that with something that you don't necessarily own. So couple different solutions that we can look at for you. It just depends overall what fits your budget, what fits your integrations, where you're looking at moving forward from an organization standpoint. Why don't you take us through a little bit, the differences and take us through what public cloud is, for people who have a ShoreTel system today, may not be too familiar with public cloud. Why don't you take us through a little bit, a brief overview on that?
Absolutely. So the structure of a public cloud deployment is going to be a phone that's going to be usually rented or purchased outright up front. You're going to have a mobile app that you can use on an Android or Apple device. We have customers that have a tablet that the receptionist carries around. They have Wi-Fi within their building. Then they use that tablet with a Bluetooth headset to walk around the office and take those calls. You've got a desktop app that is going to be web-based. So no matter what type of machine you're running on, whether it be an Apple or Microsoft OS, then you're going to be covered. The soft phone is built into the desktop app, so now you can use your laptop or PC as your telephone, right? You're going to have basically an integration with Teams, for the most part, with any of the application servers that are out there. So if you want to use Teams as your primary application to communicate on, we can do those integrations for you. We can also look at integrations into your CRMs. So screen pops, right? If we've got contact center and we want to integrate your multimedia, meaning you want to queue up emails or you want to queue up chats from your website, all that can be done through integrations with the desktop app that the cloud provider has. And it depends on what applications you want to integrate with, may give us a direction of what solution would be better fit for you, right? For example, Microsoft Teams has a great integration with Ring Central, right? No additional licenses are needed from Teams to make that integration work. If we were looking at maybe a Nextiva solution, they still require that Microsoft license in order to make that tie-in work together smoothly. So maybe there's some cost analysis that we look at there. It all depends on what your Microsoft suite is as well. Maybe you have E3 licenses, maybe you have some other professional licenses that Microsoft offers that include some of these other feature sets that are needed for these integrations. So everything as a whole is looked at, right? We don't leave any stone unturned to make sure that we're getting you the right product for what your needs are.
Yeah, with the topic timing that we're discussing at this moment, obviously timing is perfect for ShoreTel users to migrate off that system. Becoming end of life. So what would be some things that these prospects or clients, future clients, need to bring to the table for you in terms of information to start moving this process forward.
Absolutely. Again, to go back to the contract statuses for your carrier for dial tone, that usually dictates our timeline as far as if you've got another year left on that contract and you don't want to pay any early termination fees, then we have that process to go through. A lot of the carriers will allow you to if you still are left into a contract, we can, remove or strip off the voice portion from the bill, and then maybe increase your internet speed to the next tier level, right? And speed. So we look at that as one item. We have to take a look and figure out what assessments and what solutions you need internally, what feature sets you need, so we can properly demo a product that fits. Maybe you need to look at a couple different products, right, through CT Solutions to find out what system's going to be best fit, and we can definitely help you with that. A lot of organizations need at least 3 products to bring to the table to show their C-suite what feature sets are different between different solutions and what the pricing looks like, and how they're structured for pricing. So we can assist with all that, provide you an ROI for what you have today and what pricing would migrate to moving forward. All these items we have to take a look at. The assessment process, depending on how many people you have internally that need to be on those demos, sometimes that takes a little time to get all those meetings orchestrated. So that could take a little extra time than normal. But no typical deployment. Once we've got a signature on a contract with the carrier, and we've got a game plan together with our team, a typical rollout, with I'd say less than 50 users, that can all typically be done within 30 to 45 days. When you started getting into the hundreds of extensions, we could be pushed into a 60 to 90 day turnaround for a rollout. Just depends on the complexity, what required integrations are needed, and then the quantity. Maybe geographically, you've got a multi-site solution with other locations we have to visit outside of Georgia, maybe Florida, Tennessee, Alabama, or other surrounding states, or even across country, right? So we can definitely find and take care of those needs for you.
Right. So from a timing perspective, these clients should expect, depending on employee count, anywhere from 30 to possibly 60, 90 days in terms of getting this installed. And then what would you say the average, time frame is for, gathering quotes, the gathering information on the customer, like integrations, CRMs, things they're using internally, scheduling the demos and all that? What would you say that average timeline is when working with clients?
It all depends on how fast the customer is ready to move, right? But typically that can be a 2-month period. Now obviously if we can sit down and identify what the exact needs are. Here's my head count. Here's my basic call flow that I want to set up. No integrations. Obviously I can get a quote from a carrier within days, right? We can schedule a demo within a day, a few days, or a week, right? So we can move as fast or as slow as the customer would like to. We can be pretty nimble when it comes to that. That's the flexibility we have at CT Solutions, and we have a vast team here that's got lots of experience, decades of knowledge, and we put all those heads to use, right, and find what best fits for the customer.
Right. So for people listening, from a pre-sale, looking at what you have today, things like that scheduling demos, showing you different suppliers, things like that can take anywhere between 30 to 60 days, depending on how well or how willing you are to work with us in terms of scheduling and whatnot. And then we're looking anywhere between 30 to 90 days for install. So, depends on timeline for your business, when you're looking to move forward, when your go live date is. So a lot of factors here, but either way, CT's here for you through that process, between our account executive team that works directly with our clients on the pre-sale side to our implementation and service team that actually will help install your product from start to finish, make sure it's up and running correctly for you guys, all of the above. Well, I appreciate your time, Andrew. Any final remarks? Anything else that we need to share with the listeners here in terms of timing?
No, I'd say we've covered most of those items pretty well. Again, maybe it's something that hey, I want to kick the can down the road quite a ways, but I'd say let's still have that conversation, right? Let's find out where we are. If anything, maybe at a minimum, at least we've discovered some things ahead of time. We've already got maybe some budgetary numbers put together for you and leadership, just so it can be budgeted for the future, right? And we understand things change, internal processes change, but we want to make sure we're kind of ahead of the eight ball here, and we try not to make everything a fire drill if we can help it, right, internally, and we want to make a smooth transition for our customers. That's how we are able to grow and bring more organizations into the CT fold, right? We want to make sure that everybody's happy.
That's right. Yeah, we're sitting on our client side of the table. We're there with you guys every step of the way. Don't charge for our time in terms of getting on and discussing your ISPs all the way to your voice, whatever the case or whatever technology project is top of mind. We're here to help. Well, we appreciate your time today, Andrew. Join us for part 2 of 3 with another account executive here at CT Solutions, Jeff Allen. Thank you for watching, and looking forward to getting with you guys next time. Thank you.
Take care.